Today I'm going to show you how to rank up in Master Duel without ever winning. Let's get into it. So we're going to be going over my Exo Sister deck, which I have built almost to completion. Obviously, I don't have a lot of super rare or ultra rare gems, so we are working with what we can afford right now. But this deck has ranked me up twice in the gold tier without ever winning a match. So here we have everything that I am currently playing. I run 2 engines along with the Exo Sister main deck. We have our hand traps, which consist of 3 of the Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. We have the Destiny Hero Blade Mast with the Destiny Hero Dasher to go along with my DPE engine, which we get with our 2 Fusion Destiny. That just helps clear the opponent's field. You know, if I draw it, it just really helps out. We do have a banish and a return to hand with Exo Sister, but that is just in case. It really does help, as you will see in some replays. Then my second engine, aside from DPE, is the Zoroa, the Magistus of Flame engine. Obviously, if you get him out, we're also going to pull out the Magistus Glass Goddess, and that will help us run a side engine to help us get more Exo Sister out to the field. Our main Exo Sister deck consists of 3 of Exo Sister Ellis, 3 of Exo Sister Stella, 2 of Exo Sister Irene, and then we have only 2 Sophia with 3 of Martha, which is really just this overpowered card that helps out tremendously. Every time we use Exo Sister packs to search, we are going to be looking for Martha, which I obviously forgot in one of my replays, but you will see that. And then we have a Dimension Shifter. There would be a couple more D shifters in this deck, but it's an ultra rare and I can't afford it. It's just good to kind of limit the other person, the opponent, at the beginning of the match. I've never used it at the point of where it was helpful yet. But we also have Pot of Prosperity, which comes in clutch in a very heart of the cards moment in one of the replays that you will see. And then of course 3 Exo Sister packs. I accidentally just deleted one. We will get that back. And then 3 compulsory evacuation devices. That is just to get some cards off the field if we get behind in a duel. And then we have 2 of the evenly matched. Obviously, if we get behind, we will have that on the field to kind of even things out so that we can build up our Exo Sister field. And then 2 infinite impermanences. I would have some Called by the Graves, but again, it's expensive. And I don't really enjoy or support Max C, so I don't play it. And then we have Gravedigger's Trap Hole, which is a huge card if you can use it. The timing is just right because it inflicts 2,000 damage to your opponent. And with the cards we can get on the field, as long as it's like your first turn or your second turn, you inflict 2,000 damage, that is game. And then of course we have Exo Sister Vadis that helps pump out Exo Sister cards, and Exo Sister Returnia, which is a great card and definitely a game changer if you can activate it while you have a strong field. And then in our extra deck we have DPE, of course, that works off that engine. And then we have a Bez Dweller, which I know is good against certain decks. I just haven't gotten that far into it to effectively use it. I don't remember which deck it's good against, but you will not see that in the replay. And then we have number 41, Baguska, the Terribly Tired Tapir, and that is also good against specific decks that I am unsure of. But we go to Nina Ruru, and as I said earlier, that is perfect for our Magistus engine to get the Exo Sisters out. So we have Exo Sister Michaelis, and that is going to be our banish. Obviously, if there's a card we don't want on the field, we're going to banish it, and that is definitely going to disrupt their board. And of course, we can search Exo Sister packs, which will help us build our board once that is summoned. That is most of the time the first card I will pull out. Next, we have Exo Sister Caspatel, and her 2 effects are also very good. So what we can do is, for the rest of the turn, nobody can summon out of their graveyard, which is great, especially in the meta with people using their graveyard. And like in my reptile deck, I live out of the graveyard. So knocking that out of the equation is awesome. And then we can also detach 1 material from this card to add an Exo Sister from the deck to the hand. And if we get Martha, That is huge because that gets us another XYZ summon. Next up, we have Exo-Sister Jabrine, which is another great card. This whole deck is just overpowered completely. So one of Exo-Sister Jabrine's effects is you can negate the effects of a monster on the field that your opponent controls, or you can add 800 attack for your XYZ monsters, and obviously everything we're trying to get on the field is XYZ. So this is huge whenever we get to our boss monster Michaelis, because Michaelis can attack twice, and with 800 extra attack, it's pretty much game. I would run 3 of these, but of course I do not have the gems. Maybe 2, because I also only run 1 Exo-Sister Asophil. Obviously, I'd run 2 or 3, depending on the extra deck size. Asophil is great because it can negate effects in the graveyard, so nothing can summon itself out of the graveyard or do any of the other funky things that they do in the graveyard. And also, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and return it to the hand, and that is huge for clearing their board, and that usually leads to them scooping, which you will see a ton of today. We finally have Exo-Sister Magnifica, and this card is our boss monster. We are trying to get to this because the key effect here is that it can attack twice. So with 2800 and then that 800 boost from Jabrine is massive, because then we are at 3600 attacking twice. That is 7,200 in damage, and pretty much game if they weren't already sitting at 8,000. Also, you can detach one of its materials, send it back to the extra deck, and summon it using this card as material. So you can use it to get back to Michaelis or Asophil or any of the other XC's Exo-Sister cards and absolutely run house. So that is a general overview of what I use on my gem budget, and let's check out some duels. Okay, so here in my first duel, we did win, of course, but I came out with a pretty good hand. We got the Evacuation Device, Infinite Impermanence, and Martha, which is going to get us to our XCs. So we're just going to let the opponent here build his field, and at the end of it, he really just doesn't have much, but I am worried about the back row. So we pull our draw card. We got Vadis, which is good. I set all those, use Martha. I usually like to bait, just in case they have a card that will negate the effect, but they obviously didn't here because there was no hand. We get to Michaelis off Martha, and we're going to try to banish that card, and with his trap, he negates all of Michaelis' effects, which, unfortunately, I did not read that card, so I try to use another one of her effects here to no avail. And then I set Infinite Impermanence. We get rid of the life points they gained and just sit back, and hopefully they don't build anything too crazy. But with the 1-card hand, I'm not too worried. Here's where I get worried. Try to flip this card, activate it before Lightning Storm destroys it, but obviously that does not work. Just wishful thinking. So bye-bye back row. And now we just got a Michaelis out there, and they gave it to me. We pulled D-Shifter, no help. Use Michaelis' effect to get packs. We're going to use packs to obviously pull more Exo-Sisters. I decide on Ellis, even though I should have gone Martha, but either way it works. Unfortunately, called by the grave, Ellis, so I cannot use her effects. This really sucked. So at this point, we're just going to normal summon Ellis and attack to drain down some life points. We still have Ash Blossom in the hand, so hopefully if they try to use any effects, we can negate it. Here, obviously, I'm going to Ash the first effect they try, and then activate Vadis, which does take 800 life points, but definitely worth it. We're going to summon 2 more of our Exo-Sisters, so we can get to 1 more XCs, and we are really hoping that they pull from the graveyard, which they do, and at this point activates every single one of my Exo-Sister cards. So we are about to be stacked here on our Exo-Sisters XCs, but of course Ellis is called by the grave, so we cannot use her effect. But no worry there, because we get Caspatel out, Ellis negate, of course, and then Sophia, and we're going to pull out a 3rd XCs here, and that is going to be Jabrine. At this point, try to activate Caspatel's effect. They realize they messed up, and they scooped. which seems to be the common theme here with Exosister. Next duel, we get a stacked hand of 2 Ellis and 2 Irene and Exosister packs. We are going second, so that is pretty okay with me. We're going to kind of just let them build their board. They're using Blue Eyes deck here, so they are going to get that Ritual Summon out on the field. So let's just sit back and watch them build something that will get destroyed. They get the max out, and you know, it's a pretty solid board. Giving it to me now, and we get the Fusion Destiny. I'm going to try to bait out anything here, such as a negate. Not worried about the maxi, but using packs to bait out any negate so that we can use our Fusion Destiny and get DPE out. We get Stella out of there, which again, I should have used it for Martha. Don't know what I was thinking. Doesn't matter. We have DPE, and we are going to use it to get rid of the Manju. Obviously, the max is not, you cannot take care of it with the DPE, so I went for his buddy Manju. We got Ellis out, and that's about as far as I could go without the Martha, which I should have pulled. I'm going to use DPE here again to destroy that spell card, and at this point, they scoop. We are not far from getting our Exosister XEs out there, so smart choice by them. Next game. Into the third game, we got our D-Shifter in our first hand, packs, and permanents with a Gravedigger's Trap Hole and a Stella. So we're going to go straight to Infinite Impermanence after D-Shifter. Really doesn't do much. They do still get their full board here before passing it, and we will just let them build that out. I gotta say, I have not come across this deck ever, so I was happy when they just summoned 3 and passed it over. We're gonna use packs to get Martha the correct way this time, and then use Martha to get Ellis out, and then we're gonna use the effect of Ellis to get Stella out. And then, of course, we're going straight XYZ on this. We're gonna bring Michaelis, which is the Banish. And then we are going to bring Asophil, I believe, to get rid of another card, put it back to hand. So use that effect. Also, we used Asophil's effect so that they can no longer summon from the graveyard. And then we're going to return that card to hand. Use the effect of Michaelis to go for packs, but they scoop. And that is the third scoop, a bunch of victories without actually winning. Alright, fourth duel here. We get a solid hand, a couple evenly matched with Varus. We got the Martha with Stella, so we're looking pretty good. Going second, of course, so we will let them build out before we absolutely tear it down. They bring out Diviner the Herald. This one I was kind of worried about because I'm not too familiar with this deck. I do know YuGiOh and all those supporting cards can be detrimental, but he or she gets to the Ching. And they end the phase there, and I'm okay with that. So draw another Martha, which is good. If it goes to a second turn, activate Martha after setting 2. And of course they ash it, which is unfortunate, but that is okay. The evenly matched, if this doesn't work out, we'll at least make it a fair match going into the second hand. And then, of course, we're going to bring out Michaelis, and that is obviously our go-to Xyz. And using Michaelis, we are going to banish the Supreme, and they are wide open for attack here. Use Michaelis to get packs, use packs, and we are going to get Ellis with that. Use the effect of Ellis to get her out on the field, and we have another scoop, another victory. They really just don't let you play out your Exosister hands. Alright, here we go. This one's going to be a short one. We have 2 hand traps, Infinite Impermanence with Bodice and Returnia. Really all I can do is set 2 and pass. Of course, we have a ton of negates here, so we are not too worried. Ash everything. And then, of course, use Vadis here to get our Exo Sisters. We're going to let everything resolve. Get 2 Exo Sisters to the field. Negate that. And they are going to summon that. I don't know what it is. Oh yeah, this is the one where I get to draw. And depending on what I draw, it can end the battle phase. Of course, I drew a monster into the battle phase and they scooped. Okay, next to last battle here. We got part of our DPE engine, which is not going to be helpful. We have Ellis and Martha with Vadis and Pot of Prosperity. We're going to let them build their field here because we have no negates. But I actually kind of got worried here because they got a pretty solid board. I think the max attack, what they get is 5,400, which is tough to beat. But with Martha, and I think I baited out, and with Martha, we are able to banish it and return to hand. But that is getting ahead of ourselves. Let's just watch them build. We got Gaia, the Magical Knight, and it's 5,200. My mistake. And then turn change. Kind of worried, but we have Exo Sister. We're going to try to bait here with a Pot of Prosperity. And, of course, that card's effect destroys that. We get a bunch of Exo Sister. We're just going to pull Stella here. And then use Martha. Get Martha out as well as Ellis. We're going to use Ellis's effect to pull out Stella. And we are looking good. We're going to go straight into Michaelis. And I believe Asophil. And I am correct. So here we're going to make sure nobody can summon from the graveyard. Use Michaelis' effect to banish his 5,200. And then return that one to hand. And before I can do that, we have quite another victory. So last duel here. This one absolutely gets insane. Here we're going to try to use the Magistus of Flame. And it's not going to work, as you will see. D-shifter right away because we have it. Why not? This one's going to be quite the struggle. They are using a live twin deck. I am not familiar with these, so I just do my best. And then here they get to Sky Cavalry. And then I believe they pass, and they do. So we're going to draw here. And we get part of the DPE engine, which we already have Fusion Destiny, so that doesn't help us. We use Magistus, but it gets impermed here, which is quite unfortunate because all we have is Sophia in our hand. But it's been baited out, so we're going to use Fusion Destiny to get DPE on the field and get rid of the Sky Calgary, I believe. But it might be protected from effects, so we might go after the back row. Nope. So we get rid of their Xyz, direct attack. Obviously, all we have is a Sophia and evenly matched, so we pass turn. Really, we're just sitting here hoping that our next card is a Martha. Try to use DPE's effect. They use Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, which negates the effect, destroys it, and yeah, we get rid of our evenly matched there. We are naked on the board. But our turn, we get a Stella, does not help. We bring DPE back out. And then normal summon Sophia. Hopefully they go out of their graveyard so that we can use Sophia to get an Xyz. And we pass turn. Here, they're going to lay one in defense. I try to use DPE's effect. It gets Ghost Ogred once again. Their hand traps are on point right here. Destroys DPE. And unfortunately, as you will see here, Called by the Grave, DPE is no longer effective. And here I am sweating. All we have is a Stella. And we really need a great pool. Here we go. Draw. We get a hand trap. Not good. We put Stella out. Take out some light points. And pass turn. Again, hopefully they pull from the graveyard. And we can get to Xyz. but they don't. And I'm able to hand trap that. We have nothing in our hands. They also have nothing in their hands. But luckily, we get next draw. Takes my Stella out of the game. We are completely naked here. Heart of the cards. We need you more than ever. And we get a pot. Absolutely insane draw here. We're going to use pot to hopefully get a Stella. We got Ellis evenly matched. And there it is, Martha as the last card. And then we're going to activate Martha's effect to bring out Ellis and get us to Michaelis. This was so clutch. Absolutely insane. Use Michaelis' effect, get rid of that card, and then detach Ellis to get Pax. And using Pax, we are going to go after Ellis. Use Ellis' effect to get her on the field so that we can end the game. But I forgot that using those effects, we are only doing half damage. They draw here, and as you will see, they draw a Maxi, and they just go ahead and end the game. It's a victory. It's not a scoop, but we also didn't win it by our cards. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that walkthrough of my Exo Sister deck. Obviously, I'm still new and getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! So everything probably wasn't perfect. Obviously, I wasn't pulling Martha when I should have been. But if y'all have any comments or suggestions, make sure to leave those down in the comment section below so that I can make the deck even better and more competitive. I want to give a huge shout out to Your Move for being a patron and supporting the channel. And if y'all want to see Pokemon vs Yu-Gi-Oh! Mystery boxes, make sure to check out the link above.